Greetings of the day. I am Anitha Mathew, Assistant Professor from the Department of Psychology here at Kristu Jayanti College, and I am going to talk about the basics of sampling methods in today's lesson. This is a very important topic when you're understanding and doing your research activities, and we are going to look into some of the basic concepts, the contents that are there for the Greetings of the day. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Anitha Mathew, Assistant Professor from the Department of Psychology, and I'm going to discuss basics of sampling methods in today's lesson. This is a very important topic for those of you who are planning to do your research activities and trying to understand research. The contents of today's topic would include what is sample and population. We'll also look into some of the basic types of sampling in today's lesson. We have two major types, that is the probability sampling and the non-probability sampling. And we are going to look into how this is used in our research process. So in statistics, the sampling method or technique is the process of studying the population by gathering information and analyzing that data. So now let's find out what is this sample and what is this population. Okay, so before you look into it, you need to identify and understand the importance of doing sampling in our research. Yes, so when you're thinking of a research topic, for example, you want to find out the anxiety among college students. You do not know how many college students to include in your study, who will be participating as your participant for you to collect the data, as a result of which the researcher may face certain difficulties. So the importance of doing sampling is to ensure representativeness in the data that is collected, making sure that all the people are included in the study. For example, when I say college students, I need to find out how many students can be included in my study. I could use either the undergraduate students or the postgraduate students. I can even think of understanding people who are doing higher or advanced studies like MPhil and PhD, right? The next importance is it reduces costs and time. For you to understand the time that it takes to gather data, we will find out how this sampling technique will help. The next is increases efficiency in research. Going out and collecting data from a lot of people may find it a difficulty for the researcher. As a result of this, we need to make sure some representativeness from this population or from our entire study group is there in our research. Okay, so these are the importance of understanding this topic, and now we'll try to find out what is the sampling frame. Now, on the right hand side of the PowerPoint, you are able to find out some processes for the sampling frame. So it is a list of actual cases from which the sample will be drawn. So if I am taking college students as my example, the college students will be the list of actual cases, that is my entire population from which I am going to gather the data. Yes, so it is also a frame that must represent the population. Yeah, so we are going to find out what our target is. Now, if I am thinking of doing a research topic such as anxiety among college students, I am going to find out which all college students can be included in my study. I may be looking at their number of class hours, their assignments, the workload, etc. Yes, then I am going to choose them as my sampling frame. And with some techniques which we will be seeing shortly, I'm going to choose my sample for the study. Now, we have been discussing about sample and population. So let us look into what sample and population actually means. So in your study, when you are gathering a lot of students or a lot of people to do a study on, the sample refers to a representation of that larger population or a subset that contains the characteristics of the large population. It is also a specific group of individuals that the researcher will collect the data from. And the people that they are collecting the data from, that is the larger group, is going to be the population. So the entire population or the entire group that the researcher wants to draw the conclusions from would be called as your population. Let us look into a small example to understand this better. So over here we have a larger group on your right side, and on the left side you have a small section of that large group. Now in the photo or in the image, you can see that the smaller group is chosen from the larger group. Yes? So let's take an example of 25 people for doing a survey, and I want to find out their effectiveness of an advertisement on the group, that is 25 people. So I'm going to choose a representation of this particular population, and I'm going to find out from 5 people what is the effectiveness of the advertisement. So I can take only 5 participants from the 25. I can choose to take all the 25 participants. Now, when I'm thinking of a small scale research, 25 is not a very big number. But when I'm thinking of a bigger research where I need to collect data from 500 or 1000 participants, my entire population becomes very vast and scattered. It becomes difficult for me to go out, reach out to them and collect the data. So finding out just a small subset of the population makes it the sample, and the people whom I am going to do my study on is the population. So in this particular video, you have learnt about what is sampling frame, that is the list of actual cases on whom you are going to do the study. You have understood what is sample and population. Now in the coming video, we are going to understand what are some major types of sampling method and how we are going to utilize it to collect or select our sample. Hope you had a wonderful time and this lesson was valuable. Thank you.